In this video, I'm going to be going over exactly how much dividend income I made in the month of July from a $33,000 dividend portfolio. We're also going to be looking at things like my portfolio value over time, my dividend outlook tab. We're going to take a look at my dividend calendar and my daily dividend calendar, and also I'm trying to live off of dividend income in the future, so we're going to be looking at my dividend portfolio projections and projecting out how much dividend income I will be making 5, 10, 15, 20, and 30 years from now. Let's go ahead and jump back over to our spreadsheet. If you'd like to be able to download the spreadsheet, then you can head over to my Patreon page at the link in the description. The very first thing we're going to look at is my dividend outlook tab, and this is where I'm going to reveal exactly how much dividend income I made last month. If we look right here, we can see I had close to my highest month of dividend income ever at right at $130. Now I've been tracking this back since February of 2021, and you can see my dividend income month over month has continued to increase pretty steadily. If we come over here, we can see my expected yearly dividend income is getting close to $1,200, and my all-time dividend income is sitting at $1,162. My average monthly dividends is sitting right at $99. Now my goal has been to get that up to $100 a month, so I am getting very close to that goal. My highest monthly dividend income, like I just showed, is $133 right here. The current portfolio dividend yield is 3.69%. Now if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know this used to be a lot higher, about closer to 5%, but I've been focusing on investing a lot more into dividend growth companies, which has come with a lower portfolio dividend yield. Now the total dividend payments I've received over the lifetime of my dividend portfolio is currently sitting at 143. Now, there's three different charts we want to come down here and look at as well. We have a dividend income by industry, a yield on costs, and then my expected yearly dividend income by each individual stock. And the first one we're going to look at is my dividend income by industry. And the first thing you'll notice is obviously financials takes up a large amount of my total overall dividend income, brings in about $400. We also have information technology at about $109. I have a large position in Microsoft. I'm a huge believer in that company, so that does take up a lot of my dividend income, even though the company does have a low dividend yield. And then two other industries that take up a pretty fair amount of my dividend income as well is going to be consumer staples at 182 and real estate at 169. If we come over here and look at my yield on cost chart, we can see I kind of have a mix of some more aggressive dividend investments, but then I also have a lot of more, your more typical dividend growth companies. So you can see there are some companies with low dividend yields like 2.4, 1.13, but also, like I said, a couple with more aggressive yields like 12.92% from Alliance Bernstein. If we come over here and look at expected yearly dividend income by individual stock, we can see exactly which stocks are bringing home the most dividend income for me. Right here, you can see ACRE bringing in about $107. And second, we have OHI, which is a REIT, bringing in about $98. Then we have a mix of other companies that are bringing in, between $50 to $70. MO at $67, Microsoft at $62, NLY at $52, and we have an index fund over here at about $65 in expected yearly dividend income. Now let's go ahead and jump over to my portfolio value tab here, and there's going to be a few different things that we are going to want to look at. Obviously, I've been tracking my portfolio value over time. We can see it has increased by a pretty large amount since I started tracking it back in February of 2021. Most recently, it got up to about $33,000. At the time of this video, it's currently worth about $34,180. Part of that's due to we have seen a little bit of a rebound in the market over the past couple of months. SPY was to about 365 on its low for the year, but it's jumped up to about 411 or 412 over the past couple of months. So obviously my portfolio has rebounded a little bit as well. And I've also added dividend income and invested in some more companies, so the portfolio value is going to increase. We can see I'm back up to 12.35%. and my unrealized gains and loss plus my dividends is getting close to $2,000. So that is a pretty good start over this amount of time, especially when you consider the fact that the market has seen a huge downturn since the beginning of January 2022. Now, if we come over here, we're going to look at a pretty important chart, and that's my value by industry. Now, obviously, if you're invested, you want to be properly diversified, or else you're going to, put yourself through a lot of potential risk if you have too much capital in one single industry. So you can see here, information technology takes up about 27%. That is a pretty large amount. Obviously, a lot of that's due to my favorite stock being Microsoft currently. I put a lot in at the current valuations it's at, so it does take up about 27% ETFs, I continue to grow that position. It's now about 20%. It's continued to increase month over month. I'm trying to focus on investing into quality ETFs. We can see financials takes up to about 15%, real estate almost 9%, consumer staples about 13%, and then we have consumer discretionary at about 7.2%, and then a couple other industries that take up small amounts as well here. Now here we're looking at my dollar and percent gain by each individual stock. Now there's a lot going on in this chart, but if you'll look, you can see the orange is showing my percent gain while the blue is showing my dollar gain. Now, the first thing you'll notice here probably is there's a huge outlier right here. That's because Coca-Cola, I'm up by a large amount, $632. I was able to buy that company at a really great price when the stock was down. I haven't added any more to this position in a while because I think the valuation is maybe a little high for me currently. I do like to focus on companies whose intrinsic value is a lot higher than their current trading price, so I haven't bought any more Coca-Cola in quite some time, but I'm looking for opportunities in other companies. If we come over here, then we can see my value by individual stock. Again, you'll notice Microsoft takes up a really large amount of this overall portfolio at 21.3%. We have an ETF right here, Vanguard ETF, take up about 13%, and then SPY about 6.2%. But other than that, everything else is pretty well diversified, other than Coca-Cola, that takes up about 8%. But a lot of that is simply because we have seen so much price appreciation with that stock. Now, the next thing we are going to look at is my dividend calendar. Now, if you don't have a dividend calendar, this is one of the absolute best ways to track your dividend income over time for quite a few different reasons. Obviously, it's going to show you month over month exactly how much dividend income you've been making. And over here, you can see how much dividend income each stock has brought in year to date. But most importantly, you're going to be able to see exactly how much each stock is paying out. And if you're reinvesting dividends or invest into dividend growth companies, you're going to be able to see how much those dividends are increasing after each dividend payout. So for example, let's say we want to look at O right here. This is a REIT. They pay out dividends every single month. So we can see back in January of 2022, they paid out $5.83. The next month, because I reinvest dividends, $5.85, $5.87. Jump forward to July 22, it's up to almost $6. So while that is a very small amount, I don't have a lot of capital in this position, but you can see the dividend growth over time, and that's without investing any more into this company. That's simply due to reinvested dividends. When you combine that with the fact that this is a company that will likely continue to increase the amount that they pay out in dividends, you can see why dividend calendars are so effective at tracking your dividend income. Let's go ahead and jump over to my daily dividend calendar. And this is just simply a way to see exactly what days I was paid dividends this past month and how much it was. So we can see July 1st, pretty good day at $21.41. We have a few days here without any dividends, $7.67 on the 5th, $16 to $17 on the 11th. Big day on July 15th at $36.11. Come down here to the end, we can see 29th was a pretty good day at $21.08 as well. So this is just another tool that I use to track my dividend income. Now, the last thing that I do want to look at is my dividend portfolio projections. I love to be able to look at where I am now and then project where I'm going to be in the future. So I built out this entire model to see exactly what that will look like. And this allows me to see, where I'm going to be 5 years from now, 10 years, all the way up to 30 years. But in order to do this, we need to plug in a few assumptions into our variables tab here. So you can see I'm assuming price growth rate for my portfolio of about 8% a year and a dividend growth rate of 8% as well. Now, dividend growth rate of 8% is really good, but this is why I've been focusing so much on investing into quality dividend growth companies as of late, so I can achieve that 8% dividend growth rate. Now, you can see I'm going to try to contribute $2,000 a month to my dividend portfolio. That is very aggressive, but it is something I'm very determined to do, and we're planning on doing this monthly, as you can see right here. If we scroll up a little bit right here, you can see starting out with $33,000 because that's exactly where my dividend portfolio is at now. But once I plugged in all of these assumptions, you can see I'm projecting this all out. If we jump over here to my Outlook tab, we can see a pretty good comparison of what this is going to look like. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more right here. But essentially, we're looking at a scenario where if I don't reinvest dividends, what my portfolio will look like, and if I do reinvest dividends, what my portfolio will look like. So first, we're going to come over here and look at without reinvesting dividends. Even though I do plan to reinvest dividends, we can see after about 15 years, every quarter, I'd be receiving a dividend payout of close to $8,000, and my total dividends received after 15 years would be about $207,000, and the total value of my dividend portfolio would be a little over $800,000. Now, that is pretty incredible, but what if I decided to reinvest dividends over that same amount of time? Here at 15 years, you can see my quarterly dividend payout would be $11,765. Total dividends received $271,000, and the total value of my dividend portfolio $1.2 million. So that is a massive difference when you decide to reinvest dividends. Let's go ahead and look at my 30-year time frame here. Dividend payouts after one quarter, $32,875. Total dividends received, $1.3 million, and the total value of my dividend portfolio after 30 years without reinvesting dividends, $3.3 million. If we come over here and look at that same scenario, if I do reinvest dividends, and this is where things get a little bit crazy, we can see every single quarter, I'd be receiving close to $80,000 in dividend income. So you multiply that by 4, that's over $300,000 in dividend income every single year, which is pretty unbelievable. We can see total dividends received over that time would be about $2.47 million, and the total value of my dividend portfolio would be $8.15 million, which is absolutely insane. But there you have it. That's exactly how much dividend income I made in the month of July from a $33,000 account. Go ahead and let me know in the comments below if that was more or less than you're expecting. If you'd like to be able to download this spreadsheet, then you can head over to my Patreon page at the link in the description. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.